Hey, Juventini, welcome back to the channel. I'm Alberto, and you know the drill. I'm going to hit you with the news surrounding Juventus to July 15th, okay? And that includes the latest in the transfer rumblings. We're going to talk about some players that have impressed early on at the training camps, and then we're going to get to a quick little overview look at the Mercado so far for Juventus and what could be happening in the future, all right? So let's get into it. All right, Juventini, friendly reminder, like the video and, of course, subscribe to the channel. All right, thanks for all your ongoing support. Now, without further ado, let's get to the news. All right, so we're going to kick off with a couple of weak sources. All right, so one of the weak sources kicks it off by saying Juve have approached Gabriel and Arsenal for trying to get this player to Juventus. All right, again, weak source. I don't think anything happens in terms of center backs without Ligt being sold. Okay. Again, another weak source saying that there was a meeting yesterday for Pau Torres and Villarreal established they want 50 million euros. And apparently Juve is only willing to go to 30 to 35 million. So you have a gap of about 15 to 20 million euros between the clubs. Not only that, the same weak source reports that Pau Torres gave his okay to come to Juventus. Of course, all of this has to be barring what happens with the Ligt. And the latest is that Bayern Munich is going to step up the offer today within the coming hours of me recording this video for you. Within a couple hours, we could have another offer for De Ligt. So we wait to see on that from what happens. My 2 cents on this thing, Juventus needs to basically stamp their foot down and say, this is it. Okay. This is what we're looking for. Stop wasting our time because the rest of our Mercado basically relies on this, and we may miss out on potential replacements and targets that we could bring in if this thing isn't sealed. So if you want them, here's the number. Step up or shut up and end negotiations if it doesn't happen there. You have to just put your foot down because we can't continue to drag this thing on and then lose all potential targets or what could happen. Our Mercado needs to move forward. So in my personal opinion, Cherubini and Arrivabene should basically put the pressure on Bayern and say, look, this is it. We're not going to drag this thing on any further. This is the number. Do you want to take it? Yes or no? And that should be the end of it. So we wait to see, but within a couple hours, we could have an offer from Bayern Munich. Now, in terms of some other little Mercado rumblings, we have Piazza. Piazza could be heading to Sampdoria. It's being reported that the club is interested in the player, so we wait to see. No details of what the deal would entail being put out at this moment, just the fact that Sampdoria is looking Piazza's way. In terms of Allegri, it's being reported that Allegri is pushing for Zaniolo and Morata to come to Juventus. Okay, so on the Zaniolo front, I've been very vocal about this thing. I think Zaniolo did a lot on his end of it. Obviously, sitting out on his own accord 2 matches. He played a couple days ago and scored for Roma and whatnot, but enough is enough. You have to give in at some point. I mean, he does have to look out for himself and his reputation as well as a professional, but he did his part. Juventus needs to step it up. If you're looking at getting this player, and if it is loan plus obligation, a 10 million euro loan won't affect your transfer budget that drastically this Mercado if you're looking at getting this player, okay? And if you're sitting around just trying to bring Roma down and trying to make them crack for that 10 million on the obligation, 10 million in the grand scheme of things isn't make or break. Okay. And the other thing is it's way more beneficial to get this player in immediately to start training with the rest of the guys. So for me, if you are truly into this guy and you want to bring this guy over to Juventus, go out and seal the deal already. Okay. In terms of Morata, we got the Morata news yesterday that Juventus might spark up new talks. Is what it is. The Vice Vlahovic thing is very interesting. I mean, I'm indifferent almost at this point to the Morata thing, really. But we do need a Vice Vlahovic, so we have to settle it. But it really comes down to what Atletico is going to want. We have made official that Cambiaso has gone out on loan. All right. So there you have it on that. Brought him in, immediately going out on loan. I don't think anything's happening in the fullback situation for Juventus. We also got reports yesterday that Molina is heading to Atletico Madrid. All right. So that deal almost done. Not only that, but But the frustrating part was hearing that Juventus apparently was not in on Molina whatsoever. And I think that got lost in translation. I think they were in on Molina. I think what got lost in translation is that Juventus never officially bid anything or actually offered anything to Udinese for Molina. Now, this is one of those things where it starts to make you wonder how much our transfer budget actually really is. Is reported somewhere around 70, 80 million euros, but you have to really start to question that when you look around at the rumors and everything that's been happening. I mean, not wrapping up Zaniolo as a standalone move, kind of shocking. Same with not wrapping up Kostic on a standalone move. So if I start to look at this thing, Kostic was most likely just a plan B to Di Maria. This Saniolo thing, wild to me that we haven't sealed the deal if we in fact are looking to bring this player in. That's a wild one to me too. So maybe, just maybe, it's a lot tighter than we think in terms of that transfer budget. And again, we may just be waiting for outgoings, and it could also make sense why we were hearing a lot of names we didn't want to hear in transfer rumors, such as McKennie, Zaccaria, Rovella, and whatnot. So for me, maybe it's a lot tighter than we think, and Juventus can't move the guys we all want to see moved. And maybe that's what's freezing up the next wave of moves beyond Pogba and Di Maria. One thing's for sure, they still have plenty of time. There's a month and a half left of the Mercado. We will see what develops and follow everything, of course, on his channel. But that's a kind of a quick overview. I don't expect much happening at fullback whatsoever. Okay, Quadrado, Danilo, Sandro, Pellegrini doesn't look like he can be moved. So that's probably it. And of course, DeCilio, who renewed with the club. That's probably going to be it. In terms of midfield, Ramsey will be bought out. He will be not with the club in whatsoever. So in one way, shape, or form, they're getting rid of Ramsey. But if another player doesn't move, I don't even expect another midfielder coming in. So question, I guess, for all of you, as I lay it out for all you to play it out, is that enough in the middle of the park, what we have right now? In terms of forwards, we need a Vice to Vlahovic, and we need some depth as well up top. So that's kind of probably where the attention's going to go. And in terms of center back, unless De Ligt moves, I don't expect anything coming in either. So we wait to see. But one thing's for sure, Juve might have to start cranking up the pressure on these other clubs to start getting things done if they are going to, in fact, move forward with this Mercado. We wait to see what happens. Last, certainly not least, players that are impressing in the training camp so far. So Moise Kean is getting massive amounts of praise for how he's shown up in condition. Okay, so basically just in great physical condition and looking very, very strong so far in the early days of training camp. This is very, very good for Juventus and, of course, Moise Kean. All right, so we know the situation in Juve, trying to find a spot for Moise Kean, and Moise Kean pushing for a move and whatnot. But this guy showing up is big because he's had questions of his professionalism and concerns there, especially with certain situations with the Azzurri that took place, also involving his good friend Zaniolo. So it's interesting, but this is big stuff for a guy like that, especially Juve going into the final loan season for Moise Kean before kicking in that obligation. If he has a strong season, a strong showing, that would be good for all parties involved. So good there. The other is Di Maria. Di Maria, which really shouldn't surprise anybody. I've been saying this for a while. Regardless of age, whatnot, quality just stands out. And Di Maria, very much so impressing everyone at the early days of training camp. And not only just in his physical condition and how he plays, but the leadership is really standing out as well. So big stuff there. And then, of course, Pogba impressing based on quality. And you're hearing it from some of the other players in their interviews, just baffled that he was allowed to leave for free at Man United. One thing we always said about Paul Pogba, you cannot question the quality, and the quality is on full display at training camp already. So that's it, Juventini. I gave you all the news today. Gave you a little bit of an overview on how I'm feeling, how I'm seeing things with this Mercado. But again, I lay it out for all you to play it out. Can't wait to hear from all of you in the comment section to this video. And do not forget, tomorrow morning, we are live at 8:30 a.m. Eastern with another gang related Mercado Madness live show. Okay, we're gonna get the team together, and we're gonna chat about everything that's happened this week, where Juventus stands, what we feel, and what we're looking at, and what could potentially happen. And we're gonna have some fun, and we're gonna take all your questions in a big Storm the Barn session. So make sure you join us for that one tomorrow morning live. All right. Till then, as always, fino alla fina, forza Juventus. Ciao.